Oh my god. This is so freaking broken. This is so unfair. Oh my god, dude. This is the most broken thing I've ever seen in my life. Hey guys, how's it going? Firebox here. I have been playing Druid for a few hours, and let me tell you, this might be the most broken class I have ever played on launch. The only one that comes close is Bard, which was pretty strong at the time of release, but did end up getting nerfed. I have a feeling this class is also going to get heavily nerfed. I'm going to go over what I think are the best skills and spells to currently use for solo gameplay, because that's what I primarily focused on. And I'll also talk a little bit about how I feel about how this class currently acts. Let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so for your perks, I'm going to recommend Dreamwalk. This is probably one of the strongest perks in the entire game. When you get hit, you gain 5 magic power for 4 seconds and become basically immune, which is kind of insane. You're able to also cast spells during this period of time, meaning that you can use some of your really strong spells, such as your 3-second root, to stop people from killing you and chasing you, even if you get caught off guard in melee. I have a feeling this is probably going to get nerfed soon, maybe to 3 seconds, but it's hard to say for now. The next perk I'm using is Natural Healing. It's not much, but it's kind of like using 1/3 of a health potion for the entire match, which I thought was good enough to use personally, but this could be up for debate. There are some other perks that you could consider trading out instead, but it does seem quite strong. Thorncoat is insane. Dealing 5 true damage every time you get attacked is ridiculous. I don't know if they're going to nerf this or not, but I will say that is a lot of damage to be taking from someone that you're hitting. It's kind of like Dark Reflection, but it's probably better than Dark Reflection now, especially after all of the nerfs that have happened to that perk recently. And Shapeshift Mastery is probably a required perk. This lets you change forms instantly. It is honestly a game changer for Druid. Would highly recommend giving this a try. The other perks we have are Enhanced Wildness. This is pretty okay. It gives you 5 movement speed and 10 armor rating. This is something I would consider over Natural Healing if you want the movement speed for animal form. That is kind of up for debate. Some of the other honorable mentions are Force of Nature, because it stacks and is usable with the spell that heals you over time, but I don't think 3-Fizz power is enough to be worth using. We also have Herbal Sensing, which is definitely not worth using. This is a bait perk. It's not ever worth taking. Don't do it. Spirit Bond, once every second, you'll receive 15% damage. Maybe that's okay in teams, but that seems like a dead perk to me. I don't know if I'd ever want to take this, even if I was in a team. Spirit Magic Mastery, when you cast Spirit Magic, you gain 10 magic power. The problem I have with this perk is it's basically strictly worse than Sun and Moon because of the requirement to cast that spell first to gain the magic power. Sun and Moon just naturally gives you 5 magic power and 3 vigor at all times. This is just 100% better than this. So ultimately, I would say always take Dreamwalk, always take Thorncoats, always take Shapeshift Mastery. Natural Healing is up for debate. You could consider either Enhanced Wildness or Sun and Moon. And for your skills, you don't really have a choice. There's no options here. You're going to take Shapeshift Mastery and, of course, your spells. For your spells, I'm going to take Nature's Touch, which is going to heal you for 15 HP over 12 seconds, which is pretty nice. Entangling Vines, this is probably the most broken spell in the entire game. It's an AoE 3-second freeze that can affect an entire team. It's also really hard to even miss this spell. I have a feeling this is going to get nerfed down to probably 2 seconds is my guess, but right now, feel free to abuse it and get some free kills. Dreamfire deals 15 magic damage and also heals you if they're affected by Nature's Touch. This is kind of like Holy Strike on Cleric. It doesn't do a lot of damage, but it's a decent amount for a little bit of chip damage at range. Summon Treant seems kind of nice. It's really good for PvE, which if you are someone struggling with that, it can be kind of helpful to have this there on hand. But it's also decent at PvP as well, because it can soak up some damage. I've used it before, and I've also used it to block doorways. similar to Thorn Barrier, but this also just gives you another body, so they kind of have to deal with it, which is kind of nice if you're right up in their face. And Mending Grove is probably the best healing we have. I can't believe how good this is. You throw it down and it starts healing you for 10 HP per second, which is really, really strong. Highly recommend taking this spell. The other ones that I did not choose to take is Barkskin Armor. This was kind of underwhelming. The 20% isn't flat. It's cumulative based on your current PDR from what I've seen. So it doesn't bring you from 16% to 36% like you would think it does. It adds 20% of 16%. So it's nowhere near as good as you think it would be. I would not recommend this spell. Maybe it might be okay in teams to use on like a PDR fighter or something. But for now, don't take this. It's bait. Thorn Barrier is a good honorable mention that you could consider over Treant. This can help you block doorways completely, which is kind of nice. So it's up to you what kind of playstyle you want to use. So you could shade out Thorn Barrier for Treant. We have Restore, which seems more of like a team healing. It will heal 30 HP over 10 seconds. But I gotta say, it seems like Mending Grove is just better because it heals for way more HP far faster. This will heal you for 30 HP in 3 seconds and still have more healing left, whereas Restore is only going to heal you for 30 HP over 10 seconds or 3 HP per second. So this heals you 3 times as fast. Of course, it will heal enemies, but I still think Restore is probably outclassed here. The last spell is Tree of Life. I personally did not use this. It gives you 5 all attribute and 40 additional recoverable health, which isn't bad. By all means, it's probably good. The problem is I don't know where to fit it. Right now, with these 5 spells, I don't think you can genuinely put Tree of Life in here. I'd rather have Mending Grove than Tree of Life, and I definitely don't want to lose any of my offensive spells. So even though I think this is an okay spell, I just don't really have the room for it. For your shapeshifting, I'm going to focus primarily on what uses I think the animals have. So bear form seems a little bit underwhelming, but it can be strong if you're geared because of how it currently scales with strength. I've seen very high damage if you do build this strength up. The problem is it's very slow and people can kind of just walk away from you. So if you are fighting someone who isn't right up in your face and decides to just W key you, I have a hard time imagining you're ever going to really get a fight against them. But that said, if you do go for strength, it's possible this could see some okay use. Rat form is fantastic. Not only is there door tech where you can go through the little window sill of the door, but you can also use this to run away from players and hide from other players, which seems very strong. And it's also really hard for them to hit you, meaning that it's almost a guaranteed getaway unless they do manage to snipe you while you're running. I wouldn't recommend personally attacking someone with rats, at least if they're Druid, because if Druid has the Thorn perk, you will just die because of the true damage, so beware of that. Chicken I probably wouldn't use to attack somebody with, but I will say that the jump that you do get is pretty nice and scales well with Panther. If you use Panther first and do a dash in midair and swap to Chicken immediately, you can get really far jumps. That also brings you to great heights. So using that combo is quite nice, but you can also just use Chicken to reach spots that you might not otherwise be able to get, which is kind of nice. Panther seems very good to me. You have to be a little bit careful because your health is a little bit low because you do lose that 30% max health and incoming healing. But that said, if someone is low HP and you know they can't fight back, you can use Panther to almost guarantee that they can't run away, which is invaluable in solos. Movement speed will always be king. And if you do build agility, the damage becomes very high for Panther. The current build that I'm running, which is a high roller kit with 33 agility, was dealing upwards of 80 plus damage per swing, which is pretty nice considering how fast the swings are coming out. And there is the added benefit that for the right click, it will briefly silence a target. So if you're fighting against someone like a wizard, you can use Panther form to possibly just get a free kill on them. Ultimately, I think Panther and Rat are the best shape-shifting forms right now, and Bear and Chicken would probably be second next. I do think all of them have their uses, though. So as of right now, I think they're doing a pretty decent job, at least as far as the animals are concerned. But I have seen some people complain that the rat is really hard to fight. Alright, so that's going to be everything I want to talk about the Druid. I don't know if it's going to end up getting nerfed, but I have a pretty strong feeling it's going to if Iron Mace's history tracks like we've seen in the past with new character releases. So feel free to have some fun with this before that does happen. Let's go ahead and get into some more of the PvP that I had. Enjoy the video. I am going to hell. Does Ranger counter Druid? Maybe, I don't know, but he's dead now. Wait. I think that knocks him out of place. That doesn't work, guys. That doesn't work. That guy's never playing cleric again. He was in the worst possible spot he could have been. There was not a better... That was the perfect spot for me to catch him in. Looting. Unlucky for him. Almost feel bad. This is gonna get nerfed? Oh, I damn well hope so. I want to thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to like the video, sub for future content, and comment below what your thoughts are of the current state of Druid. If you do want to catch this kind of gameplay live, feel free to follow me on my Twitch. I'll have the link in the description of this video. Or I stream right here on YouTube, so feel free to check me out here. I do want to thank Justin Dupe, Trash Daddy, and Barty for supporting this video alongside my other members. Thank you all. Have a great day.